This digital signal meets the same barriers as the analogue.
So all those numbers could be reduced in size. They could be a little bit weaker, but they're still the same numbers. It's still the same code. They are the recipe for our music. It's not the music itself, it just tells us how to recreate that music perfectly. So here's our note, perfectly reproduced. And the bonus with digital is we can reproduce this perfectly as many times as we want.
It's one for the money, it's two for the show. Go, guys, go!
Perfect copies have been the key to mass-produced entertainment for over 500 years. Printed books were a radical new craze that really has stood the test of time. For me, you really can't beat a good read.
I love books. They're relatively cheap and portable. You can read them almost anywhere. In bed, in the bath, on the loo. They've got a nice feel and texture about them. And it was the ancient Egyptians who first committed ideas to book form by writing on papyrus leaves in 3500 BC. But it was 2,000 years ago when the Chinese invented paper, and that secret was held from us for several hundred years. And in 1455, Gutenberg in Germany invented the printing press, and what a great bit of lateral thinking that was.
Gutenberg was a goldsmith who got his nugget of inspiration from the German wine presses that were common at the time. He carved individual letters out of wood to make a movable typeface. By mounting sets of letters to make words and covering them in ink, Gutenberg successfully made the world's first printing press. I'd like to think his first print job was labels for the local wine. But really, this process enabled the mass production of books. Hundreds of Gutenberg presses spread through Europe, reaching Britain in 1474, when William Caxton started printing in English.
So what were the first books that people read purely for pleasure?
You're talking things like Daniel Defoe, Robinson Crusoe, 1719. Pure escapism. Chances of being on a desert island for most people, zilch.
Well, I've got the old curiosity shop here, Dickens. What does Dickens fit into it all?
Well, that's entirely the opposite. I mean, this is a man with a social conscience, telling everybody what the world is like for poorer people. You're in there, it's gripping you. I mean, so much so that when it was serialised, it would go over to the States and people would be waiting on the quayside. What happens to little Nell? Does little Nell die? It was the Dallas of the time, really.
So far, it's all been hardbacks. How did paperbacks come about?
Well, it starts around the steam era, when you're on a train. I mean, what are you going to do? Sit there and just get grimy and make polite conversation for hours? No. So books had to be made more portable. You see them on every station now, really.
They're portable entertainment, aren't they?
I'd say so.
The printed word was soon joined by illustrations. Whole stories told in a series of pictures in comic strips, like these from the early 1900s, were hugely popular. The next step was to bring illustrations to life.
Hello everyone, welcome to a Magic Lantern show.
And the magician who first performed that trick was the Magic Lantern Man.
Hello everyone, and welcome to this magical Magic Lantern performance. And I take my hat off to you all.
Magic lantern shows like this amazed audiences from the 17th century. But it was the Victorians who really got excited by this technology. A magic lantern man used to come to your town and put on a big show. It was the big thing in town.
There's a rat about to enter his mouth. Yum, yum. You can hear the bones being crunched. What a terrible slide.
But if you were rich, you could have the show in your own home.
Victorian artists used skills they had learned painting fine pottery, sometimes spending a month on one slide. But getting the right amount of paint on the glass to let the light through is tricky, and any tiny mistake will be huge when it's projected.
For your delectation and delight, Garry's Magic Lantern Show.
This is my story of a recurring nightmare I have of being chased and trying to escape in any way I can. It's like a film storyboard and shows how magic lanterns led the way for modern projectors and the feature film. I just hope I never meet that scary duck. Illuminated drawings were soon to be eclipsed by the latest rage, which literally meant drawing with light photography.
When this pier here at Clevedon was opened in 1869, photography was just entering its heyday, and you can see all that from these wonderful pictures of the piers, great structures piers, and the Victorians really loved them, and they really loved to take some good photographs of them. By 1900, roll film had been invented, and everybody started to develop their own family albums. It was the thing to do. And every family's got an album. But for me, and I do like this, and everybody's getting one of these now, a little digital number. You can press the old go button there, and I can take a nice little photograph of Ian taking a picture of me. Whoa, what a great image, fantastic. I can send that to my chums all over the world. But if you've not got all that digital whatnot, what you can use is a nice little instant throwaway number like this, dead cheap, and when you've taken the pictures and developed them, you can just pop it straight in the bin, just like this.
No, please. No. This is my camera.
Your camera?
Can't lift the top, yeah. It's got photographic paper in.
It's a camera?
Yeah, it's a wheelie bin pinhole camera.
A giant pinhole camera, and Justin is the expert on pinhole cameras. So, Justin, how do we make this take a picture?
I'll show you.
The pinhole camera allowed photography before the development of high-quality glass that would be needed for sophisticated lenses.
The lens is the pinhole. It's actually behind here. It's about 1 millimetre diameter.
So if I rip that off,
it would start exposing.
That would be essentially what the camera does then, isn't it?
Yeah. And it projects an image on the inside, on photographic paper on the inside, so you end up with a big 5 foot by 3 foot picture. OK, you ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1... We're exposing. Let's just hope that the bin men don't come round in the next 10 minutes.
You're going to be in the picture.
Yeah. You're not the only vain one around here.
Yeah.
With the long time exposures of early film, the pinhole camera needed a lot of patience. And if you wanted to be in the picture, you had to stay still.
Sitting like this is all very well, but what do we do about seagulls?
Right, no, the seagulls are hovering above us. I'm trying to keep my jaw still, it's a bit silly, but like it should work. This is why Victorians always look so miserable in the photographs, as they were clamped there for 10 minutes.
10 minutes later, we wheeled Justin's camera straight into his darkroom, or should I say, bathroom. Time for a wash, not with soap, but with developing chemical. So had we got an image?
And we're off.
And we're off.
Oh, look at that.
I can feel the creativity oozing out.
Synchronised sponging. And then if we squeeze it...
Oh, have I gone too fast?
No, you're fine. Hang on, there's an image coming up there.
Right.
See?
The image is just there. It's just appearing. As if by magic.
We've got this image coming up over here.
Oh, right.
And the planks are coming up. We're going to get some more...
Oh, there's a bit of pier. And there's a roof.
You could say it's appearing.
Oh, tee-hee.
A great photo of the pavilion, but there was something a little unusual about the image.
Hey, OK.
Now here it is, it's negative and it's back to front. So I've got a little bit of electronic trickery of my own, just a little bit of a... Hey, and hey presto, we're negative, and the picture's the right way round and positive. I like all this ironwork here. I could really see the shapes. And somewhere in there should be a ghostly image of me. Can you see it?
Yeah, we're down there. We're looking a bit blurred.
Well, I look a bit too ghostly. I hope I'm a little bit more alive than that. Thanks a lot, Justin. It's brilliant.
It's a pleasure.
Some of our best ingenuity has gone into toy and game design, and many have stood the test of time. Lego was invented in 1949 when master carpenter Ole Kurt Christensen bought a plastic injection moulding machine. He named his building blocks Lego after the Danish words meaning play well.
Meccano was invented by Frank Hornby in 1901. He wasn't an engineer, he was a clerk in Liverpool. And he got his idea by looking at a crane through his office window.
He wanted to make a model of the crane, so he designed a kit of tiny metal parts.